Hi everyone, welcome to my latest podcast. In fact, my brand new podcast, Bostro. Bostro is about wearing new clothes with the old. So I had started blogging about Bostro way back in 2012-13. I had been writing every day about the kind of clothes I wear, and it would be Western, Indian, whatever I used to wear. I used to just write about it. I used to have a story and I used to write about it. And the best part was that I used to get a lot of readers from across the globe. I was very happy because whenever I used to look at the statistics, I used to have people from the US, from Europe, from Japan, from China, and all these different places. And I was very excited. Of course, India had to be there. It was the largest audience I had. Then what happened was Bostro, I started a couple of years back. I started wearing traditional clothes, but in a new way, and I started wearing my old clothes in a very creative manner. And this became very interesting because people started noticing it. And very soon I said, okay, why don't I actually start curating these textiles from the Northeast and start making it more interesting for people? Because if they already have clothes, then they shouldn't be buying any more clothes and adding to the landfill. This was my whole idea. Now, if you ask me why I stopped buying clothes in 2018, I didn't even tell you that I had stopped buying clothes since 2018, because number one, my son told me that I should not be buying any more clothes because I already had a lot of clothes and I wasn't wearing them because they still had tags on. I still have tags on. Even if you come to my place, you'll find clothes which are brand new from probably 10 years back. So I'm guilty. I'm guilty as anything about that. The second thing was that in 2018, I met a wonderful lady who had come all the way from Mumbai to Guwahati, and she didn't bring any clothes with her. She said that she will be staying in different people's homes, different friends, places, homes of different friends, and she would be borrowing their clothes and wearing them. Even for a marriage, she would be borrowing clothes and wearing them. And she had stopped buying clothes for many, many years. I was surprised because she said that she also went to the US and she did not carry any clothes. She borrowed clothes from other people. That really stunned me because every time there was an occasion, I would be buying clothes. Even if there was no occasion, I would be buying clothes. And that added to my wardrobe. Now, let me put in something very interesting for you here. When I was a little girl, I remember my mother used to stitch all my clothes. Since I was a baby, she used to stitch all my clothes. She was a massively beautiful designer, and some of my favorite clothes, as far as I could remember, one was my favorite. This was a polka dot maxi, and it was black with white dot spots on it or polkas on it, and it had a little belt out here. It was a crisscross belt which could be tied at the waist. That was one of my favorites. And the second favorite was one which had an applique. It was, I think, a strawberry applique, and with embroidery and smoking on the chest. That was one of my favorites. It was a white frock with red work on it, and I still have those. In fact, and I have another satin. I think satin, yes, that was a satin frock which I still have, and there's a lace and satin yellow frock that she had specially made when I was acting in one of the concerts in school. So my mom used to be amazing at her stitching, and one thing she told me was that no matter what you're wearing, make sure you wear it with style and grace. So even if you're wearing a sack, she used to tell me that you will look graceful if you decide to wear it in style. And that teaching of my mother has somehow stayed with me, and I can make do with anything now. Anything, I can just put on anything and make myself feel like a $1 billion star. So I have to start any training or any podcast or any speech, and I have to speak about my mother first. So you have understood that my mother was and will always be the most important teacher in my life, most important fashionista in my life, most important guru in my life, because she was the one who taught me many things about fashion, about a lot of stuff. So yes, so when we are talking about Bostro is about sustainable fashion. It is not about wearing something new creatively, it is about wearing the old creatively. So you see, right now I'm wearing a mekhela, but I'm wearing it in Methoni style. Methoni, if you're going to ask me what is a Methoni, this is how tribals wrap their mekhelas around themselves. They probably have a string, and then they just tie it at their chest, and then they go about their work. So when I said, okay, I have a lot of mekhela sadars, what will I do with them? I have lots of saris, what will I do with them? I can't go and keep buying things forever and ever and add to my wardrobe. That would be disastrous, because then I would not have any place to keep my stuff. So you would probably say, why? So why don't you donate your old stuff? Well, let me tell you one thing, the standard of living of everyone has gone up. So even if you're donating, people nowadays will look at whether you're giving them something good or something tattered, and you have to give them something good. And I have understood one thing, that if I can make do with my old clothes, so what's the point of adding to my wardrobe if I can do something creative? So that is how Bostro has happened. So over the years, what I have done is I have tried to take the styles, the weaves, the mekhelas of different tribes of Northeast, and I've tried to wear them in different ways. Maybe put on a shirt, different belt. Like I love wearing the Karbi mekhela with a top, with a black top and a belt, and different shoes. So the whole look becomes very different.